I was supposed to be at work. That's the only reason she felt safe. That's the only reason she thought she could get away with it. But I was not at work. I was standing outside my own house, keys in hand, stomach twisted into 1,000 knots, staring at the black BMW parked in my driveway, car that did not belong to me. The first thought that hit me was not even rage. It was disbelief, the kind that makes your mind reject what your eyes are seeing. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was an Uber driver taking a break. No, I knew there were no excuses for this. I stepped forward, barely registering the cold air against my skin. The house was quiet from the outside, but I could see the faint flicker of the living room lights through the curtains. She was not expecting me home. She thought she had time. I walked up to the front door, unlocked it as quietly as I could, and stepped inside. The sound of my own heartbeat was deafening. But underneath it, I could hear something else, a low murmur, voices, hers and his. I moved without thinking, following the sound down the hall. The bedroom door was slightly ajar, just enough for me to see without them noticing. And when I looked inside, felt like my body shut down. Emily was sitting on the bed, legs crossed, leaning toward him like a schoolgirl with a crush, some tall, well-dressed guy with perfect hair and an expensive watch, the kind of guy who walks into a room like he owns the world. And then she laughed, not the fake, polite one she gave me when I told a joke, not the tired, distracted one she'd been giving me for months. This was real, a laugh from her chest, from her gut, the kind that lit up her whole face, the kind I had not seen in I do not even know how long. I did not realize I had pushed the door open until the laughter stopped, until Emily turned and saw me standing there. And the first thing she did, she rolled her eyes, not shock, not guilt, just annoyance, like I was an inconvenience. "Oh my God, really?" she sighed, swinging her legs off the bed like a bratty teenager caught sneaking out. "You were not supposed to be home." I did not say anything. Could not. My brain was still catching up to the fact that this was real, that it was happening right in front of me. The guy, whoever the hell he was, did not even look ashamed. He just sat there, calm, like this was normal. Like I was the problem here. Emily stood up, brushing her hair back. "Do not give me that look, Jake." I blinked. "That look? What the hell is this?" I finally said, my voice quieter than I expected. She scoffed. "What does it look like?" And just like that, something inside me snapped that I do not remember making the decision to move. 1 second, I was standing in the doorway, stomach in knots, mind reeling. The next I was stepping inside, closing the distance between us, not toward Emily, toward him. The guy barely flinched. He looked up at me with this lazy half-smirk. Like I was some idiot kid throwing a tantrum. That should have been my warning. Someone with an expression like that. They do not fear consequences. Emily sighed behind me. "Oh my God! Can you not make a scene?" A scene. She had the nerve to act like I was embarrassing her. Like I had walked in on her moment instead of the other way around. I ignored her. My eyes were locked on him. "Get up," I said. He raised an eyebrow, but he did not move. His voice was smooth. Practiced like he'd been in this situation before and knew exactly how to handle it. Emily groaned. "Seriously, Jake, stop with the macho crap. You reacting pathetic." Pathetic. That was the moment I realized just how deep this went. She was not just caught. She was not just guilty. She did not care. I had spent years of my life with this woman. Loving her. Fighting for her. Thinking we were a team. And now, she was standing there in our bedroom, arms crossed, rolling her eyes like I was an inconvenience. Like I was some stupid, clueless husband who just would not get out of the way. My fists clenched. I wanted to knock that smug expression off the guy's face. I wanted to scream at Emily until she understood what she had just burned to the ground. But I did not. Because this was not a fight I was ever going to win. Instead, I let out a slow breath and looked Emily right in the eyes. "How long?" She blinked, then shrugged. Shrugged. Like she was being asked how long she'd been on hold with customer service. I do not know. A few months. A few months. A few months. I felt sick. My stomach turned. My skin went cold. And the room suddenly felt too small. Too tight. The guy who still had not gotten up sighed and rubbed his jaw like this was all just so exhausting for him. Look, man. I think we should all just, I snapped. Shut the hell up. He raised his hands, amused, touchy. Emily rolled her eyes again. Jake, stop being so dramatic. Dramatic. Something inside me went ice cold. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, I saw her for what she was. Not the woman I married. Not the woman I fought for. Just a stranger standing in my bedroom. Looking at me like I was nothing. I nodded more to myself than to her. Then without another word I turned and walked out. Emily did not stop me. She did not call after me. She did not say a single damn word. And that was the worst part, that I do not remember getting in my car. I do not remember pulling out of the driveway. But somehow, I ended up parked in an empty lot a few miles away, hands gripping the wheel, staring at nothing. My brain was stuck in a loop, replaying every second of what just happened, trying to make sense of it, trying to convince myself it was not real. But it was. Emily was cheating, had been cheating for months. And the second I caught her, she did not cry. She did not beg. She did not even pretend to be sorry. She just stood there, annoyed that I had the audacity to show up and ruin her night. My phone buzzed in the cup holder. For a split second, I let myself think it was her. Maybe she realized what she had done. Maybe she wanted to fix it. But no, it was my best friend, Mark. Mark and I had been friends since college. The kind of friend who would show up at 3 a.m. with a baseball bat if you needed him to. I had told him something felt off with Emily weeks ago. He told me to trust my gut. I did not. I should have. I picked up. Jake. His voice was sharp, urgent. Dude, where are you? Nowhere. I muttered. Pause. Then you found out, did not you? I let out a breath. Yeah. Silence. Then the sound of a chair scraping against the floor on his end. Where are you? I'm coming to get you. I hesitated. I did not know what I wanted. I did not know what the hell I was supposed to do next. But I knew one thing. I could not sit in that car alone, drowning in my own thoughts, feeling like an idiot who had wasted years of his life on someone who never deserved it. I gave him the address. 15 minutes later, Mark's truck pulled up next to me. He barely gave me time to open the door before he was already talking. She's a piece of crap, he said bluntly. No soft words, no hesitation. Always has been. That caught me off guard. What? He let out a sharp breath, gripping the steering wheel. I did not want to say anything before, but man, I never trusted her. Something about her just always felt fake. But you loved her, so I kept my mouth shut. I should have warned you. I leaned back against the seat, staring out the window. I should have seen it. She's a liar, Jake. Lying is who she is. She did not even try to cover her ass when you caught her. Right. I laughed, but it was not real. Nope. Yeah, because she does not care. She got bored. And instead of talking to you like a decent person, she just found someone else. People like her? They do not feel guilt. They just move on and let you pick up the pieces. I clenched my jaw. I wanted to argue, defend her, say that she was not like that, that maybe there was some explanation I had not thought of. But I could not, because he was right. And the worst part? I was not even sure if she was done with me yet. Mark drove. I did not ask where we were going. And he did not say, he just drove, the hum of the engine filling the silence between us. I stared out the window, my mind flipping between flashes of the past, and the image of Emily sitting on our bed, rolling her eyes like I was the one screwing up her night. I had spent years of my life building something with her. And for what? So she could laugh in my face the second she got caught. I exhaled through my nose, gripping my knee to stop my hands from shaking. She's gonna text you, Mark said suddenly. I blinked. What? She's gonna text you. Maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. And when she does, it would not be an apology. It'll be some bullcrap excuse to make herself feel better. She'll rewrite history so that somehow you re the bad guy, and she had no choice but to do what she did. I did not want to believe him, but deep down, I knew he was right. Emily never took responsibility for anything. If something went wrong, it was always someone else's fault. And if she ever did apologize, it was not because she meant it. It was because she wanted the situation to go away. A sharp buzz in my pocket made me flinch. Mark glanced at me. Told you. I pulled out my phone. Emily, are you serious right now? I stared at the screen. That was it. No explanation. No apology. Just 6 words that made it sound like I was the one who screwed up. I showed Mark. He laughed under his breath, shaking his head. Classic. You walk in on her cheating and somehow you read the problem. Unreal. I clenched my jaw, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. My first instinct was to go off on her, to rip into her for what she did, to demand answers, to make her feel even a fraction of what I was feeling. But then something in my brain clicked. She did not care. She did not care when she was doing it. She did not care when I caught her. And she sure as hell did not care now. If I texted her back, she'd twist everything. Make herself the victim. Make me question reality. It would be the start of a back and forth that would end with me apologizing to her for making a big deal out of it. Not this time. I locked my phone and shoved it in my pocket. Mark smirked. Good. Let her sit with that. I let out a breath. I do not know what to do next. He shrugged. You do not have to. Not yet. Right now you just have to process. And if that means sitting in a bar, drinking whiskey until you see a not feel your face, then that's what we were going to do. For the first time that night, I almost smiled at your professional advice. Damn right it is. I did not know what my next move was. But I knew one thing. Emily was not going to decide it for me. Mark was not kidding about the whiskey. We ended up in some dive bar on the other side of town, the kind of place where the lights were too dim. The bartender looked like he'd seen too much. And the music was just loud enough to keep people from listening in on your business. Perfect. I was not much of a drinker. But tonight was different. Mark ordered for both of us. 2 doubles neat. He slid mine over, watching me closely. Like he was waiting for me to fall apart. But I was not going to. Not yet. Not in front of people. I downed the first one in a single gulp. It burned all the way down. Mark whistled low. Damn. All right. I set the glass down and ran a hand over my face. My brain was still trying to catch up with everything. A few hours ago, I was just a guy coming home from work. Now I was sitting in a bar processing the fact that my ex-wife was screwing someone else in our house in our bed, laughing about it. Mark tapped his glass against the counter. So what's the plan? The plan. He gestured vaguely. Yeah, what's next? Divorce? Revenge? Changing your name and disappearing into the woods? I let out a hollow laugh. I do not know, man. I have not thought that far ahead. Mark tilted his head. Well, I have. And I gotta ask, are you sure this is the first time that hit me harder than the whiskey? I blinked. What? He swirled the liquid in his glass, not looking at me. Are you sure this was her first time cheating? Because from where I'm standing, she looked way too comfortable getting caught. Like it was not new to her. I opened my mouth to argue to say, of course, it was the first time. Emily would not. But then I remembered how she acted, how she was not even fazed. Like she had practiced this moment. My stomach turned. I shook my head more at myself than at him. Jesus Christ. Mark leaned forward, voice low, you need to get into her phone. I rubbed my temples. Dude, I'm not doing that. It's over. I do not need to see more. No, you need to see everything. He pointed at me. Right now, you think she has just been screwing around for a few months. But what if it has been years? What if this dude is not the only one? You do not want to be the guy who walks into a courtroom thinking he knows the truth, only to get blindsided. I exhaled sharply. He had a point. But how the hell was I supposed to get into her phone? Mark must have read my mind because he grinned. You said she texted you, right? I nodded slowly. Well, that means she still thinks she is in control. That means you've still got an opening. He leaned in. Text her back. I frowned. What? Tell her you want to talk. He smirked. And then get the proof you need. The thought of sitting across from Emily, pretending I wanted to work things out, made my skin crawl. But the thought of leaving without knowing the full truth, that was worse. I pulled out my phone and I texted her. Emily responded almost immediately. Oh, so now you want to talk? I could hear the smirk in her words. And it made my blood boil. But I forced myself to stay calm. I needed her to believe I was still under her spell. I typed back. We need to figure this out. I do not want to throw everything away over one mistake. A lie, a disgusting, humiliating lie. But if she thought I was weak enough to forgive her, she'd let her guard down. 3 dots appeared. Then they disappeared. Then they came back. I knew what was happening. She was deciding whether she still had me under control. Finally, her response came through. Fine. Meet me at our spot tomorrow at 7. Our spot. For years, we had this little cafe we used to go to every Sunday. It was where I proposed, where we had our biggest fights, where I told her I wanted to spend my life with her. Now she wanted to use it as the backdrop for her manipulations. I clenched my jaw and responded. Okay, I'll see you then. Mark was grinning before I even looked up. Dummin'. I did not think you had it in you. I pocketed my phone. What now? He leaned back in his chair, looking way too pleased. Now you get your hands on her phone. And we find out just how deep this rabbit hole goes. The next day, I sat at our usual table at the cafe, pretending to be a man who still had hope. Emily walked in 5 minutes late, looking too good for a woman who had just been caught cheating. Her hair was curled, makeup perfect, wearing a dress I had not seen in years. She sat across from me, sliding off her sunglasses like she was a celebrity avoiding paparazzi. Well, this is awkward, she said with a smirk. I forced a chuckle. Yeah. She studied me for a second, like she was trying to read my mind. Then she sighed dramatically. Look, Jake, I know you're pissed. But can we just be adults about this? What happened happened. She waved her hand like she was dismissing a bad meal at a restaurant. There's no point in dragging it out. No point in dragging it out. My fingers dug into my jeans under the table. I had to focus on the plan, not my anger. I exhaled and leaned forward, lowering my voice. I do not understand. I made my eyes look tired, defeated. Why him? Why now? She tilted her head. Almost like she felt bad for me. Almost. Jake, come on. Things have not been good between us for a while. I swallowed the urge to laugh. She had not even tried to fix anything. Instead, I shook my head. I just need to know the truth. No more secrets. She studied me again, and I could see her debating. Then slowly she nodded. Fina, no more secrets. She reached into her purse and pulled out her phone. I held my breath, watching as she unlocked it, scrolling through her messages. I had seconds to act. I shifted in my seat, knocking my drink over directly onto her lap. She gasped, jerking back. Jake, what the hell? I jumped up, grabbing napkins. Crap, I'm sorry. Here. Let me. Her phone was sitting on the table, unlocked. I snatched it. Emily froze. Her eyes widened as she realized what just happened. Jake, but it was too late. I was already scrolling through her messages. And what I found, it was so much worse than I imagined. The moment my eyes hit the screen, my stomach dropped. It was not just one guy. It was not just a few months. It was multiple guys, different names, different conversations, some dating back over a year. Messages filled with inside jokes, pet names, plans to meet at hotels. Excuses she'd given me about work trips that lined up perfectly with her chats about meeting some random guy. I scrolled faster, my hands shaking. Emily lurched forward, trying to grab the phone. "Jake, give it back." Now I shoved my chair back, stood up, half the cafe turned to look, sensing the tension, but I did not care. I was reading messages I was never supposed to see. "Last night was amazing. See, not stop thinking about you. Not from the guy in my bedroom. A different guy. Wish I was in your bed instead of his right now. He is so clueless. I do not even have to try that hard." The breath left my lungs. The whole time I thought she was distant, tired, stressed from work. She was laughing at me behind my back. Emily stood up now, hissing under her breath. "Jake, if you do not give me my phone right now, I swear to God." I held up a hand. My voice coming out eerily calm. "Shut up." She blinked, probably shocked I was actually standing up for myself for once. I locked eyes with her. How many? Her mouth opened, closed. She swallowed. "Jake, how many?" Emily, she let out a sharp breath, rolling her eyes again. "Why does it matter?" Something inside me broke. I laughed, actually laughed. A raw, hollow sound that made Emily flinch. "You know what? You rewrite. It does not matter." I tossed her phone onto the table, nearly knocking over the salt shaker. "Because I'm done." Her eyes narrowed. "What do you mean done?" I grabbed my jacket, shoving my chair in. "It means you do not have to sneak around anymore. You do not have to pretend you win. I'm out." I turned to leave. But her hand shot out, grabbing my arm. "Wait," I yanked it away. "Do not touch me." For the first time since I caught her, Emily looked scared. Not sorry, not regretful, scared because she realized she had lost control. I turned and walked out of the cafe. Emily did not chase me. She knew there was nothing left to say that I stepped out of the cafe and into the cold evening air. But I barely felt it. My heart was hammering in my chest. My hands still shaking. I had spent years of my life loving someone who did not just cheat. She mocked me for trusting her. I had to get out of here. I barely made it to my car before my phone started buzzing. I knew who it was before I even looked. "Emily," I let it ring. Then came the text. "Jake, talk to me." I gritted my teeth. Oh, now she wanted to talk? Now that she realized she was not going to manipulate her way out of this. Another buzz. "Do not walk away like this." I laughed bitterly. Like this? Like she had not been screwing other guys behind my back for over a year? Then another one. "Come home so we can figure this out." Home. I stared at the word. A slow, sickening realization settling in my gut. She was not asking me to come home because she was sorry. She was not asking because she wanted to fix things. She was asking because she thought she still had me. That's when I knew exactly what I needed to do. I dialed Mark. He picked up on the first ring. "Tell me you got out of there." He said I did. I muttered, unlocking my car. "But I need your help." He did not even hesitate. "Name it." I exhaled. "I'm leaving." A beat of silence. "Then where to?" "Anywhere but here." I gripped the steering wheel. "After the breakup. I quit my job without hesitation and was about to board a plane. I just need to pack my things first." Mark let out a low whistle. "Damn, you're really doing this?" "Yeah. There was no fixing this. No salvaging it. Emily had made her choices. And now I was making mine." "All right," Mark said. "I'll meet you at your place." I hung up and drove. By the time I pulled into my driveway, Mark was already there, leaning against his truck. "You sure about this?" he asked as I stepped out. I nodded. "Yeah." Emily's car was in the driveway, but I did not care. I was not here to argue. I was not here to listen to whatever excuse she was about to throw at me. I was here to take back my life. Mark followed me inside. And there she was. Emily standing in the living room, arms crossed, waiting. Jake. She started, voice softer now. Let us just know I walked past her, heading straight for the bedroom. She blinked. No. I yanked open the closet, grabbing a duffel bag. I'm packing my stuff. Emily's footsteps were quick behind me. Jake, stop. Let us just sit down and talk. I whirled around and she actually flinched. There's nothing left to talk about, I said, voice even. I saw the messages, Emily, not just him. All of them. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. You did not just cheat, I continued. You laughed about it. You called me clueless. You thought I'd never find out. I threw a pile of clothes into the bag. Well, guess what? I did. Emily stepped forward, reaching for my arm. Jake, I was stupid. Okay? It did not mean anything. I yanked away. You do not get to decide what meant something to me. Silence. For the first time, I saw something crack behind her eyes. Not guilt, not regret, fear, because she realized I was actually leaving. She tried one more time. You see, not just throw everything away. I let out a sharp laugh. I'm not the one who threw it away. You did. I zipped up the bag, slung it over my shoulder, and walked out of the bedroom. Mark was already holding the front door open. Emily followed me, her voice rising now. Jake, be serious. Where are you even going? I stepped outside. Anywhere but here. She stood in the doorway, stunned. Like she never actually believed I'd walk away. But I did. And I did not look back. I drove in silence. Mark was in his truck behind me, following me to his place. I had not figured out my next move yet. Where I was going, what I was going to do. But I knew one thing. I was not spending another second in that house. Emily had texted me 7 times in the last 10 minutes. I did not read them. I did not need to. I already knew the script. First anger, then guilt-tripping. Then, if all else failed, fake regret. I had wasted enough time letting her control me. I was not about to give her another second. Mark's place was small but comfortable. And the moment I stepped inside, I felt something I had not felt in months. Relief. He tossed a beer at me, then sat across from me on the couch. So he said, cracking his own open. What now? I exhaled. I do not know, man. He took a sip, watching me carefully. She's gonna try to suck you back in. I know she's gonna cry. Say she was lost. Say she did not know what she was thinking. I know. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. And when that does not work, she's gonna get mean. Clenched my jaw. That part one was waiting for. Almost as if on cue, my phone buzzed again. I finally glanced at it. Are you really doing this? Jake, I made a mistake. We can fix this. Do not be an idiot. You're throwing your life away over nothing. I let out a sharp breath and tossed my phone onto the table. She's already trying to spin it. Mark snorted. Of course she is. She see not handle the fact that you're actually leaving. She thought she'd always have you, man. He pointed at my phone. She's not texting you because she loves you. She's texting you because you're not playing the role she gave you. I nodded, rubbing my face. He was right. Emily did not miss me. She missed having someone to lie to. Someone to come home to after she was done screwing around. She missed the comfort of getting away with it. I was not playing that game anymore. Mark stretched. So you quitting your job? I hesitated. Yeah. He grinned. Damn. My man's going full restart button. I have to laugh. Shaking my head. I see not sit in that office every day knowing what I know. She's probably already spinning some story to our friends. Making me look like the crazy one. Mark nodded. Good. Burn it all down. Start fresh. You got money saved up. Enough. Mark took another sip of his beer. Then smirked. Then screw it. Let us go big. I raised an eyebrow. What? He leaned forward. You re-pissed. You re-free. And you got nothing tying you down anymore. Why stay in the city? Why not just pick a place, book a flight and go? I stared at him. The thought had been lurking in the back of my mind since I walked out of that house. But hearing him say it out loud made it feel real. I mean, Mark continued, you could sit here and mope, or you could pack a bag, hop on a plane and never think about Emily's cheating ass again. I let out a slow breath. For the first time in my life, I had nothing holding me back. And suddenly, I knew exactly what I was going to do. 2 days later. I was standing in an airport, a one-way ticket in my hand. I had never done something like this before. I was the guy who played it safe, who made decisions carefully, who thought about the future, who always considered the consequences. But now there was nothing left to lose. Mark had helped me pack, not that I needed much, just a duffel bag with the basics, my passport, my savings, and a brand new phone number because I had zero intention of ever hearing from Emily again. The night before, she had tried calling from a different number. I almost did not pick up. But curiosity got the better of me. The second I answered, she was already in full damage control mode. Jake, please. Let us talk like adults. I did not say anything. Just let her talk. She took that as a green light. I know I hurt you. I know I made a mistake. But do you really want to throw away everything we built together over this? I mean, come on, you're not perfect either. I let out a breath, shaking my head. There it was, the rewrite. She cheated. She lied. But somehow I was supposed to share the blame. I kept my voice calm. How many silence, then quietly Jake, how many pause, then I do not know. I closed my eyes. That was all I needed to hear. I hung up, blocked the number. And that was the last time I ever heard her voice. Now standing in this airport, I felt something I had not felt in years. Weightless. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Mark, I still think you should have let me slash her tires. I smirked and typed back. Not worth the effort. Were you flying to? I exhaled. Looking at the screen above me, I had booked my ticket on impulse. Did not overthink it. Did not plan anything. I just picked a place and bought the damn ticket. Spain, Mark's response came instantly. Hell yes. Send me a pic of the first margarita you drink. The boarding call came over the intercom. My flight was ready. I grabbed my bag, took one last glance at my old life, then walked toward my future. Emily had tried to break me. She thought I'd crawl back. She thought I'd let her rewrite the story. She was wrong. I did not belong to her anymore. I belonged to me.